We are anonymous. No faces, no flags, no permission slips. We are here to tell you a story, exactly as it happened, with nothing cut, nothing softened, and nothing spun to protect fragile egos. This is the story of how a Kid Rock backfire triggered a full Trump meltdown right in front of the entire country. Let's start with the most revealing part. Donald Trump was melting down over Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show, while most of America was just enjoying the game like normal human beings. Think about that for a second. Millions of people watching football, hanging out with family, laughing at commercials, vibing with the halftime show. And then there's Trump, angry, seething, rage-posting, obsessing. That alone tells you everything you need to know about where his head is at. First question that immediately jumps out: why was Donald Trump even watching Bad Bunny's halftime show in the first place when he supposedly had the Kid Rock halftime show at his disposal? Remember Turning Point USA and the MAGA ecosystem hyped up this so-called all-American alternative halftime show featuring Kid Rock and a lineup of conservative-friendly artists that basically nobody outside that bubble cares about. And yet even Trump wasn't watching it. Even Trump chose Bad Bunny over Kid Rock. That's brutal. That's accidental honesty. Second thing it tells us, Trump was so terrified of getting booed at the Super Bowl that he didn't even show up. Let's be real about that. This is a guy who craves crowds, applause, chants, cameras. But the Super Bowl, too risky, too many people, too many chances the crowd turns on him. So he stayed back in D.C., sat there stewing in his own anger, doom-scrolling, watching the halftime show, and getting mad at everyone else instead of actually doing anything useful for the American people. And instead of, working on healthcare, inflation, housing, veterans, disaster relief, or literally anything that would help Americans, he spent his night writing a long, deranged rant about Bad Bunny. That's the president's priority. Not governing, not leading, posting through the rage. But here's where it gets funny. Like genuinely hilarious. Right before the Super Bowl halftime show started, Turning Point US proudly posted an update about their competing halftime show. Kid Rock plus a bunch of other B or C list conservative artists that most people couldn't name if their lives depended on it. Meanwhile, the actual halftime show had basically every A-lister imaginable on screen. The biggest event in American entertainment culture. Massive production, massive audience, global reach. You'd have to be a special kind of unhinged to flip the channel away from that and choose Kid Rock instead. Then Turning Point drops the update. Due to licensing restrictions, they were unable to stream the all-American halftime show on X. So instead, viewers were told to head over to their YouTube channel around 8 p.m. to watch the full show. Translation: one of the biggest platforms they planned to stream on said no, you can't do that here. And just like that, their potential audience was cut in half. Instantly, self-inflicted. One mistake, one denial, and the whole thing collapses. I responded online saying, you just created a million Kid Rocks. And then, because humor is sometimes the only way to cope with absurdity, I posted Kid Rock didn't die for this bullshit. Obviously, Kid Rock is alive. That was the joke. But the point landed. The entire thing was sad, embarrassing, a cultural flop. And here's the serious political analysis underneath the jokes. This wasn't just a bad show. This was a massive loss of cultural relevance for the Republican Party in less than 1 year. If you remember February of 2025, right after Trump's win, there was this moment where it felt like conservatives thought they had captured culture. People were saying there was a shift, that conservatism was cool again, that Charlie Kirk was mainstream, that MAGA had momentum beyond politics. That moment didn't last. We are 1 year into Trump's term, and not only is that supposed cultural shift dead, the pendulum has already swung hard in the opposite direction. The halftime show itself made that clear. The visuals were sweet. The tone was heartfelt. There was literally a sign in the background that read, "The only thing more powerful than hate is love." And MAGA lost its mind. Jordan on Twitter pointed out that MAGA wanted people to boycott the halftime show. They called it anti-American. Let that sink in. Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is part of the United States. American citizens. Full stop. But hate doesn't care about facts. Laura Loomer, one of Trump's closest allies, posted, "What the hell is this illegal alien, farm worker, non-English on my TV? Someone call ICE." That wasn't ignorance. That was racism. Straight up. So I clapped back and said, "She's watching the Melania movie, by the way." "Babe, that's Melania you're talking about?" Nobody on that screen fits the description you just made. She didn't get confused. She revealed herself. And then Jake Paul decided to jump in, proving once again that repeated punches to the head have consequences. He posted that he was purposefully turning off the halftime show, urging people to rally together to show big corporations they can't do whatever they want without consequences. do whatever they want. You mean book the most popular global artist of the last decade? Then he escalated it. He called Bad Bunny a fake American citizen who publicly hates America. Fake American. What does that even mean? Jake Paul owns a house in Puerto Rico. He flies the Puerto Rican flag when it's convenient. Instead of saying what he actually meant, he danced around it with coded language that was 1 inch away from a slur. Puerto Rico is America. Bad Bunny is American. This wasn't patriotism. It was hatred, and the irony is painful. The halftime show literally said, "The only thing more powerful than hate is love." MAGA saw that message and chose hate anyway, which brings us back to the president, the supposed leader of the free world. A man who, instead of guiding the country toward unity, stability, or even basic decency, functions as a beacon of resentment. While all of this was happening, Trump was also attacking an Olympic athlete earlier in the day. Why? Because that athlete dared to say, "I don't always agree with the United States." That was it. That mild statement triggered another infantile tantrum. Then Trump posted his Super Bowl rant. He said the halftime show was absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever, which honestly sounds more accurate. If he were talking about the Kid Rock show, but he wasn't. He claimed it made no sense, that it was an affront to the greatness of America, that it didn't represent success, creativity, or excellence. Meanwhile, there were massive sets, dancers, storytelling, symbolism, and yes, dancing trees. Creative, memorable, impactful. Then he complained that nobody understands a word Bad Bunny is saying, that the dancing was disgusting, that it was inappropriate for young children. So let's break that down. Trump is mad someone doesn't speak enough English, coming from a man who barely strings coherent sentences together and routinely butchers basic words. He's mad about disrespect to American standards, while he himself disrespects the presidency daily with lies, insults, and public meltdowns. And he suddenly cares about children. If you want to talk about Trump and children, that's an entirely different video. A long one. Then he pivoted to bragging about the stock market and 401s. The stock market always hits all-time highs over time. That's how growth works. What's impressive is crashing it repeatedly and slowing its progress, which Trump managed to do more than once. He said there was nothing inspirational about the show, that fake news media would praise it anyway. And here's the thing. People didn't need the media to tell them how to feel. Even my grandpa texted me. He didn't understand the lyrics. He doesn't usually like new music, and he still thought it was awesome. Trump wasn't reacting to the performance. He was reacting to the message. He wanted to tear down the idea that love is more powerful than hate because his entire political identity is built on the opposite. He likely wrote that post before the show even ended. Rage first, rationalization later. And if this is the Republican Party's plan to stay culturally relevant, it's going to fail spectacularly. Competing with the Super Bowl by putting Kid Rock on a stage in rags isn't a strategy. It's an admission of defeat. They are losing culture. They are losing influence, and they deserve the loss that's coming if this is all they have left. So here's my message to you, watching this right now. If you're tired of rage being louder than reality, if you're tired of hatred being framed as patriotism, if you're tired of leaders who melt down instead of lead, then don't just watch. Share. Subscribe. Push back. Don't let the loudest voices control the narrative. We are anonymous, and we are still watching.